Myself, Curtis Pope, and now where are the shades?
They're right.
I just got used to, working across from a Kardashian, and now suddenly Michelle's back.
Here we go.
There we go.
Now I'm cool.
It's like, Marilyn Monroe has finally come back into the building. And should we come clean and why you're having to wear those?
I'm an open book.
I know you were. That's why I asked.
But I don't know if they would be really interested in knowing.
Well, all you have to do is say they're prescription sunglasses. That really takes care of it.
They are prescription sunglasses. I can't see anything anymore.
Hey, the fact that you have prescription sunglasses and they're stylish.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, there you go.
All about style.
Well, of course, style often comes into homes and how they're decorated and how they can be cluttered, of course. And we're talking about how to declutter. And I guess, what's some of the situations you come into with the clutter where I don't want to say what's your average situation like, but what is it like when you come into a home and you're like, is it like an episode of Hoarders?
Some homes are hoarder homes, but some aren't. So they're just needing them to be decluttered so they can get the photographer to come in and take the listing and then, right? So, but it's just, I don't know, just a lot of clutter all over the place and they just don't know what to do with it, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've spent a lifetime collecting things for whatever reason, and, some are sentimental, some are just for whatever reason you can't get rid of it. We have a pool table in our garage. We kept when we moved. It's still in our garage because we don't know where to put it.
Do you play it?
No, it's not. It's not even set up. It's on its side, leaning up against the wall, and it's heavy slate and everything else. And I looked at my wife when we moved. I said, "Can't we get rid of this?" And she's like, "I don't know. I don't want to keep it." Now it's taken up. I could have my car in my garage if I didn't have that pool table in there.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I can help you with that.
That's one of the things.
Right. Yes.
So
right?
there's an example of clutter that, that's a big piece of clutter.
Right.
Obviously. But, something you hang on to for one reason or the other.
And, so many people get really, it's like they get this mind block and they can't get past it and they don't know where to start or what to do. That's what I find.
Yes. Especially like with clothes. Like I'm working on a lady's home right now. She's 85 years old. Okay, so I'm going in to downsize her home. She's got, I kid you not, 12 wardrobe boxes on her own. There's nobody else living in the house. The average person has about 4 to 6 wardrobe boxes. This is one single woman with 12 wardrobe boxes full of clothes. I said, are you ever going to wear these clothes? You've got to get rid of some of them because you're 85. Are you going to actually wear them all? Right? So she's like, no. So, yeah. So it's...
That bell-bottom polyester pantsuit from 1976.
I was going to say, she must have some really cool clothes in there, I bet.
I haven't gone through them yet. So,
I bet
yeah.
there might be some cool vintage
right?
stuff in there.
Yeah, right. I have buyers for vintage clothes, right?
So, Sonia, you work a lot with people who are obviously minimizing and having to start packing because they are going to sell and move, so they need that helping hand. But do you also work with people that just aren't selling, let's say?
Not very often, but believe it or not. I think I've had maybe 4 or 5 organizing jobs in the last 27 years. They're all been decluttering jobs prior to selling or the packing or whatever, but not very much organizing.
Okay,
right?
What's one of the, or a couple of the items that really stick out to you in the 27 years you've been doing this, that you've helped somebody sell for something and they were like, wow, I didn't know?
Okay, well, just recently a client in Delta, she separated from her husband. She got all the alcohol. Well, you can't sell alcohol in Marketplace because that's where I sell most of my stuff. So I changed, did some name changing to it, but didn't call it alcohol. It was some Chinese stuff, and I got $500 for her. There was 2 guys very interested in that. I was shocked that I actually was able to sell alcohol on Marketplace. Right.
That's amazing.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah, but you
Right,
get into some
yeah.
high-end whiskeys and things like that. Yeah, I mean, you could have some money there, like in scotches and things like that. Some of those things are worth $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000 a bottle.
Right. But you can't sell on Marketplace.
No.
That would have to go like on Craigslist or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, you don't want to get like a 16-year-old kid wanting to buy your alcohol, right? So, yeah.
So earlier you were talking before the show about this place in Maple Ridge, and your client's 7 years old, but you've got like a hoarder from 70 years or something like that. You were talking. Can you share us?
Okay, so she's 70 years old. Her husband had died, I guess, about 15 years ago in the backyard. So she didn't know how to cope with that, so she started eating. And then she put on the weight. And then she couldn't get around too much. And so then she's sitting on the couch watching Shopping Channel and then just buying because she didn't know how to deal with the death of her husband, right? So she started buying. So anyways, I guess whatever, she decided, okay, now is the time to sell because her daughter said, come live with us, Mom, right? So they built a coach house for her and everything like that. So, right, good kids. So then the realtor reached out to me and said, we're wanting to list a client's home. She's a hoarder, blah, blah, blah. We'll give you 4 days to get certain rooms cleaned up. Got it done, right? And then it sold within 3 days.
So now there's staging, and then there's decluttering.
There's the decluttering, yeah.
And there's cleaning. So everything has its purpose. And you don't go into the staging or the cleaning part of it, do you?
No, I don't. If a client wants a home staged, I stage with what they have. Because if they don't want to bring in a stager, I try to stage with what they currently have.
Oh, okay. So
Right,
that's
yeah.
a part of staging, so you do that if need be.
If the client, because some clients don't want to pay for the staging, I get that, right? Whatever. So I'll use what they have in their house, right? So. But so the client that's in Maple Ridge, so one of the rooms, I couldn't open the door to it. So I had to call a window guy to come in and open pop up the window for me so I could climb over her stuff to get over because a bookshelf had fallen down.
Oh, wow.
That's why I couldn't open the door. And so she was embarrassed. She said she was embarrassed to have somebody over because of all her hoarding issues, right? So, yeah. So, right?
Helped her.
Right. So,
And it sold in 3 days.
sold in 3 days.
Wow.
Right?
When
so,
was that?
last year.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
right?
when you get a client like that too, and they go in the home shopping network and just buying, they've got all these things that are new. Can you make some good money back for the client?
Oh, yes. If they're willing, hoarders are they're harder. They don't want to let anything go.
Right.
But what are they going to do with, say, 15 fans? These are 15 Dyson fans that are $700 each. What are you going to do with 15 of those? Right?
Wow.
You're going to use maybe one or two. Let's get rid of the rest. Let's sell the rest. So, right, so that's what I do.
Yeah.
I help them sell and then get their money back, right? So
Richard won't let me watch the shopping channel.
It's probably a good reason for that. It's like him going into Long and McQuaid.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm very receptive to things. Like, I'll see somebody drinking a coffee. I now want a coffee.
You're the highly suggestible type.
Yeah.
I am the highly suggestible type. So now, have you ever come across somebody like, that have had,